Impact alert day. We are watching the skies closely, something we haven't seen in quite some time. You're talking about snow.
Absolutely. Not something you hear every day here in central Georgia. And obviously, snow is the big headline. Everyone's looking to see that and probably keeping their fingers crossed we see some form of winter weather. But also, it is just going to be very, very cold. So it's important to remember to take all those precautions that you would when the cold weather is still in place, because we're not going to get above freezing temperature very much over the next 2 days in central Georgia. So our weather impact alert, what is it for? Snow being very likely. Our confidence has continued to increase over the last 3 or 4 days since we started to get those high-res models in view. This weather impact alert is going to go for all day today and the first half of tomorrow, because once temperatures go back down below freezing temperature overnight, we're looking at the possibility of ice accumulation, and then that's just going to make for very hazardous conditions on the roads. So you may not recognize this sky cam. This is downtown Houston. Yes, not something you see every day. There is plenty of snow on the roads, and it is good to see that there is nobody on the roads. Oh, there, right there. As soon as I say it right there. Definitely try to avoid being on the roads like most people in Houston, as the snow does continue to try to fall later on here in central Georgia. Temperatures in the mid-20s, upper 20s all across central Georgia. Feels like numbers more in the teens with a bit of a breeze out of the north or the northwest. Taking a look at that satellite and radar picture, just really seeing dense cloud cover, maybe a few flurries, but it looks like that is really starting to fall apart as it moves into a pretty dry mid-layer of the atmosphere that's currently present over central Georgia. But here's all the winter weather further over to our west, stretching from Alabama throughout Mississippi into Louisiana and down the Gulf Coast of Texas, maybe even getting into the Texas and Mexico border down there. It's not something that you see every day, and we're going to continue to watch this moisture train a little bit further to the east eventually here in the state of Georgia. So our winter weather alerts, we have all counties here in central Georgia now in this winter storm warning. This will start at 10 a.m. today and go until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Our northern tier of counties were left off of this until as recently as about an hour or two ago. That just means that the confidence of winter weather impacts has increased for all of central Georgia later on throughout today and tomorrow. Taking it through future views, still seeing this cluster of frozen precipitation kind of jet into the central Georgia area around 2 p.m. Now, if temperatures are slightly above freezing temperature, I think that's going to be more of the wintry mix variety. And then as we head into the evening, when this becomes more widespread, this will be more frozen precipitation in the form of snow as temperatures dip back below the freezing temperature mark. But going to be fairly short-lived, still going to dump its fair share of snow showers according to this model on across central Georgia before exiting towards the southeast as we head into about the midnight hour, and then we will clear out tonight, leading into some morning lows that could even drop into the upper teens once again. So Wednesday afternoon looking nice and clear. We'll get above that freezing temperature mark, hopefully melt any frozen precipitation at the ground for the time that we are above freezing temperature tomorrow. And then getting into Thursday looking like a cloudy day, still looking at a temperature increase maybe up above the 40-degree mark for highs. So taking a look at the snowfall parameter, the graph is continuing to hint at a good chance of at least an inch all across central Georgia. But the further south that you head, maybe about 2 inches, maybe close to 3 inches, or even 4 inches in areas like Eastman and Soperton. Don't get locked into these snowfall total amounts. This is very, very liable to change, but the consensus is the further south that you live, you are looking at those higher snowfall totals possibly throughout today. But there's a world where that doesn't play out, and there's a world where we overshoot those totals. So obviously continue to stay updated throughout today on the latest updates with these. But here's the main headlines and the takeaways as of this morning. Snowfall likely this afternoon until around midnight. Higher totals to the south, like I just said, but roads will be impacted regardless of the totals. Try to be off those roads by about midday today, because we're looking at some form of precipitation to start falling around 1 to 2 later on this afternoon. So basically the next day and a half, you'll want to be very diligent and pay close attention to the forecast. After that, we have a warming trend as we head into the weekend, and rain chances looking very hard to come by, with temperatures getting back close to average as we head into next week.
All right, Alex, thank you. Now make sure you are staying informed during our weather impact alert by downloading the 13 WMAC app. You can get it in the Google Play or Apple Store. Then make sure you sign up for the notifications, and that way you'll get the latest weather and news alerts sent right to your phone. We have more news coming up after this.